Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Jonathan JOESTAR, which is the first of the bunch. I'm going to be reviewing him and Joseph today. I got them at the same time. And then we have more coming in the future, so this is cool. More JoJo stuff is always good if you ask me. It's interesting, though, the way Bandai's going about it. We'll talk about that a little bit, but pretty cool figure overall. I have to say, it's not a bad line to start. Some lines haven't started out so strong. This one's pretty solid, but some things to talk about. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we get into the figure, let me show you my package. I think it's a good package. I'm not sure if they're trying to kind of emulate the Super Action statue packaging. It's a very tall package, which is not typically what Bandai does, though they did do it with the Berserk stuff. But yeah, their packaging's usually square, shorter and squarer. So that's strange. Interesting, doesn't matter to me. I don't really care about the packages. They go in storage after I take the figures out. But yeah, it's a good looking package. No problem at all. I don't know... They didn't do anything special here. On the back, it has the glossy finish, but it's not actually metallic. I think they could have done that. That would have looked nice. But fake metallic is an odd choice in 2026. But it looks like an old Photoshop, or not Photoshop, oh my gosh, PowerPoint from like middle school. But otherwise, it's a nice looking package, and they did some stylization on here. I guess that's fine. All right, packaging is all right. Let's talk about this figure. It is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. I did look not that long ago, and they were pre-order sold out, but now that I have mine, I think they're in stock. Like, actually plenty of inventory, but I'll put a link in the description below. We'll see. All right, he stands about 17.5 centimeters, including the hair. That'll be about 16.5-ish to where his head would end. That's going to be close to 7 for the hair and like 6 5/8 for the head. So it is a big boy. He's a big boy. They are tall. And unfortunately, it seems, I just actually reorganized all my stuff, and I don't think I have the Super Action Statue version of this guy. I only have the later guys. So I can't compare it, don't have it. But he's a tall one. For figure art standards especially, he's very tall. Why is Bandai bouncing around in scales these days? More than they used to, I don't know, it's strange. But he's 7 inches basically, so fitting him in with your other import figures, you can decide if you like the way that's going to look or not. I would rather they be a little bit smaller personally. Alright, so let's do a question of the day. Which of the JoJo's is your favorite? I'm torn. I probably would go with Jotaro, but maybe Josuke. I'm not sure. Okay, so, and is it based on their stands? Or do you guys like the original ones that don't have stands at all? Let me know. Alright, here we go. Let's talk about the aesthetic on this guy. First thing I noticed, very stylized, and that's fine. We'll talk about that in just a second, but very plasticky. That's the thing that drives me the most nuts on these figures. They're very, very plasticky. The flesh tone's nice. The rest, the shirt and the pants, the boots, everything else looks like bare plastic because it mostly is. And it's pretty shiny. So I don't love that. I don't love that at all. The flesh tones, on the other hand, splendid. Very, very nice. The musculature is very stylized, but that's okay. But yeah, the flesh tones are good. But now let's talk about the other thing, the stylization, which was kind of a hot topic when they first showed these guys. They don't quite look like their source material. They look more to me like they are a blend of the original source material and then the modern aesthetic. Particularly, I think the thing that throws it off the most is the eyes. They seem to be more of the modern styled eyes, and I think these are closer to like the more box set type where all of the stylization has been kind of homogenized down into one thing. I don't know, let's do a question of the day about that. Do you guys want these figures to be more stylized like their original source material, or do you want them to all blend together? I can see an argument for both. I'm kind of indifferent because they're not super different from their original source material, but the eyes do throw me off, especially on this guy. His eyes weren't really drawn like this, at least in the anime. I don't know about the manga, but I don't really care personally. I don't mind them all blending together, but also I'd kind of like them all to like go together, but still have a little bit more of their own flair. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah, other than the plasticky nature and the total lack of paint for shading or anything other than on the flesh tone, it looks pretty good. I'm not upset with it. It looks fine, but this being so glossy, not really glossy, but you know, plasticky, shiny in the pants, it really makes it look cheap. The detailed paintwork is fine though. No issues really at all. The faces are clean. That's nice. These things also, the little nubbins for the injection molding, it's like, that's front and center, Bandai. Could you have figured out a different way to do that so that the little straps, which are pretty big, don't look like crap right on the front? Well, so yeah, like, it's not as good as it could be, especially the finish. Otherwise, it's fine. I'll go I'll go 8. It's fine. It looks pretty good. These aren't quite the same either, which is also bugging me. Yeah. Definitely some room for just like finishing improvements. Otherwise, I think it looks pretty good. Now, as far as accessories go, we have 3 different faces. They all look nice. Plenty of hands. That's good. We have his backpack that's removable, of course. It's not on him. So you can put that on him. And then you get his sword and the scabbard, which is nice. There's some nice detailing going on there. You get the flames for his hands, which have little clips and things. It's kind of a pain in the ass process. Do you need to use those? Not really, but they do help. And then you get the display stand, which Bandai's including, and his does have the mask on it, like the main logo type thing. That's nice. So good spread of accessories. 9.5 out of 10. That's having a display stand, awesome. An effect part, faces. You get everything that you're gonna need. Like for the most part, of course, you could always do more. But yeah, looks good. All right, now let's see if it can freaking pose. That's going to be a big deal because we don't have a lot of JoJo figures that are actually good posers. The SAS figures look nice, but they're kind of a pain in the ass to pose. So let's see how this guy works. First thing I'll do is show you on the inside. It is a double ball peg. That is nice. There's not a lot of room in there because of the way they have the second piece of hair and everything stuck on there, but I wanted to show you. It's in there, and the hair is articulated a little bit, so let's pop him back together. It's hard to do in camera. And then we'll see if he actually functions. The neck moves around. You do get the usual Bandai gap right there, which is hard to deal with, I guess. I mean, I think you just round it down a little bit more and you'd be fine. But the neck moves around, the head moves around. It doesn't have the most range because we have the Sylvester Stallone hair back here. But yeah, it is not bad. It is perfectly adequate. I'm not upset about it. That'll be fine. Shoulder pads are connected in the front on a ball peg, which is a strange choice, but it seems like it's working. So I'm not gonna complain too much about it. But I want to talk about these shoulders. Can I pop these off safely? I'm gonna try. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Okay. Oh, it's a double ball peg. That is not what I was expecting. I thought it was just a single ball peg fixed. Either way, the shoulders. I'm not sure why Bandai thinks they need to try to be Revoltech for shoulders. These are not the worst example. These are actually a decent middle ground, I would say. I don't love the lumpy, visible ball nature, but because it's not a hollow cavity up here, it's not as bad as Revoltech. You do get a lot of cavity down here. And then when the arms are up, which on him you can't see, but on the other one we'll talk about it, you do see the Revoltech ball up there, which is annoying. But on this guy, it's like a good balance, I guess, so I don't hate it. And then this is a floating cap. You can see it just kind of wiggling around, but it moves around pretty well. Like, you get decent range for sure. It doesn't really wrap around the chest though. So as far as a butterfly goes, not really. I mean, you're basically just getting adjustment posing out of that. So I'm not sure it's worth all of this complicated engineering to make that work, because you really aren't getting a ton of extra range other than adjustment posing. This is probably going to be a nightmare. Let's see. Oh man, I think I put myself in a bad spot. Nope. All right, cool. So if that pops off for you, it won't be too bad. Shoulders hide all of it. You just don't get a ton of extra range. But here's the thing. The other guy, Joseph, has a bicep swivel. This guy doesn't. Especially since the sculpt isn't great looking anyway. It's a little bit weird. I don't know why they decided to not do... That's all you get for your butterfly. That's super weird that they did that. This part of the arm doesn't have a ton of range either. It's just a little bit better than 90, and it's kind of ugly. So Bandai's doing weird stuff with engineering. That's what I'll say. It's not terrible on this guy, but it's also not very good. Wrists are on little ball hinges. Those are fine. Torso, though, on the other hand, they simplified it, which is nice. He doesn't have a ton of range going back. He has a good amount of range going forward, and then side to side works really well. So you'll be able to do a decent amount of posing, and you don't have to do any weird tricks. It just goes. You just do what you want to do, and it's fine. This is a floaty piece, but otherwise it just works. Like, I like that. It could go back a little bit farther, I guess, but it just works, and that's fine. Now for the hips, we've seen these style of hips plenty of times at this point. Full range, no real nuggets. I mean, a little bit of a nugget situation with these, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's good. Good range. Going forward, not the best range going forward. Going back, basically none. So you have some limitations. You get your thigh swivel. It looks like you would have extra. And I'm not sure what's going on here, because if you look... Oh, it's because these are caps. That's why. Okay, so yeah, that extra gap is not a ball peg gap. That's because of the cap moving this piece here. So yeah, no ball peg. It's just a swivel down here. That's okay. For the knees, the boots get in the way, so just better than 90. He's not going to have a crazy amount of range. And then for the ankle, just a big old ball hinge, which is exactly what I like. That's fine. They could have made them ovular so that they didn't stick out so much, but they're still fine. Like, good range all the way around. And then the toe hinge, get back there. Toe hinge is acceptable. It's still, like, Bandai struggles with basic stuff sometimes. I don't get it. Because they do it right sometimes, too. It's fine. It's not particularly good, but it's fine. So his articulation, to sum it up, is perfectly acceptable. The shoulders are way over-engineered for no real benefit, but the rest works pretty well. I mean, it's not great, but it will do. Joseph actually poses a little bit better and has almost an entirely different set of articulation, which is quite strange. But you'll have to check his review for that. But it works. I'll give his articulation for Bandai, I think overall a 7. The torso's nice. Some weird stuff going on, though. The knees and elbows being limited. The shoulders not having a ton of range. I think 7. You could argue 8, but it's certainly not a standout other than this part right here works really well. I'll leave it at that. Okay, time for the final rating on this guy. For an entry figure, though, like I said, it's really weird that the two first figures, which are basically coming out at the same time, have very different design philosophies for articulation. And the second one's way better, I think. It's weird, but for a first release, even though it came out at the same time as the second release, it's perfectly adequate. It looks good enough. I think it's a fine foray into JoJo for Bandai. I'll give it an overall rating of 8 out of 10. I really want to see the finish tightened up a little bit. No shiny plastic, please. And they already refined the articulation on the next release, and we'll see if they keep it going. But yeah, it's a good release. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I'll be done there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.